feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't run away.
We'll get back to that, but I'll give you the spoiler already. 6ix9ine is being detained. This is after the court hearing. He's been detained for 2 weeks. I do think in 2 weeks he'll probably get released, but he's being detained for 2 weeks. He's going to miss a show that he was actually promoting, and essentially it's kind of it's really his fault because he really neglected a lot of things that was going to contribute to him staying free. If you don't know 6ix9ine, even though he cooperated, he took a 5K1 letter. 6ix9ine was on parole, which is so funny. And people always say, "Yo, you can't do nothing to him." You don't. If this guy has a badge in his pocket, he doesn't go to jail, right? But I do know that the ignorance within the black community, they believe that if someone cooperates, they're a police officer. No, they're not incentivized. They're incentivized to make sure you don't die because it sends a bad image in about telling, but they're not incentivized to bring your ass back in jail because you're not listening to them, right? You got to remember, when you get down for the government, you basically play bitch. Don't get out there and think you could, like, once we let you out free, stick your thumb your nose in the air and fucking put your middle finger up at us. And then clearly they're saying that Tekashi violated his supervised release. Now, what I initially thought it was, and give me 1 second here. What I initially thought it was hold on. Was this. So 6ix9ine, which by the way, he ain't hit me up, which I'm glad he ain't hit me up, because when you about to do crimes, all my friends know, Ak is the last nigga to hit up. But apparently he was in New York City already. Usually when he comes up this way, he'll like yo, Ak, what up? But, you know, he's been in this Guala land. That's what I call, like, the Hispanic land. Hopefully nobody finds it offensive. And there was an incident that happened in the club last night where he was, like, dragged out the club, so to speak. Let me see. I'm posting it. It'll take a second to go up. Apparently, people felt like there's a couple of videos passed around. They felt like he put his hands on a woman. I don't know the nature of the relationship with him and that woman. I don't know if they were playing. You guys could tell by the video. But he was taken out the club, so to speak. And give me 1 second. And some people felt like maybe she pressed charges, and that's why that happened. Actually, I could go to another page to get the first video here, which is... No. Here we go. So this is the video of 6ix9ine last night. It is this. So there's a woman. I don't know this woman's name, but apparently this is the video from last night. And I guess 6ix9ine, I think this is a woman. Is this a woman? I don't know if it's a woman. They're saying it's a woman. Yeah, but this is a weird video. I can't say this video really says, like, oh, look like the person slaps their hand, and then, okay. This is not how women usually dress, but look like, all right, yeah, that's a little odd. All right. And then here, I guess he's, like, dragged out of the club or something. Hold on, let me make it a little bit smaller that y'all can see it. Sorry. Okay. So some commotion, a lot of commotion happened, but then ultimately led to, like, 6ix9ine kind of like getting into it. But I ain't gonna lie to you, 6ix9ine, you know when I met 6ix9ine, he never used to drink, right? I know I've been a drinker since day one. It's like me starting to smoke now. I'd probably act up getting, I don't know what y'all niggas be smoking right now, monkey nuts. I don't know what y'all smoke. Here's some niggas say, I'm smoking sprinkles. I'm like, what the fuck is sprinkles? I mean, anyway, I don't smoke. I only drink. So he started drinking, honestly, like, right before he got locked up, right? Actually, no, especially when he got, when he got released from jail, he started drinking a lot. Yeah. And it's probably because, I've never seen him do hard drugs. I've never even seen him smoke weed around me. I never really known him to do anything. And this is honestly, like, I've never been around 6ix9ine. He's like, yo, whatever. Like, when he got free, we'd go out. He told me he only drinks Tito's. Anything else makes him, like, throw up. And I'm like, all right, bet. But I do know that when he get drunk, he one of them niggas who get drunk and like get real belligerent. Now we all know, everybody got a Mexican friend. They could kill about 55 boxes of Corona. You feel what I'm saying? They might fight each other, do whatever. I know. Listen, from where I lived back in Hackensack, there was some Mexicans that lived above the apartment above mine. Man, on Friday nights, all you was hearing was a bunch. It was like they was dancing all day. They would fight a little bit, but I ain't gonna lie, hardest workers in the world. You gave them that one night because they were you would never see them otherwise. They were always working construction jobs and other type of jobs. Anyway, I guess I said that about Mexicans. 6ix9ine's Mexican. Anyway, he was in the club, don't know how to handle his liquor, clearly a little bit drunk, and apparently this is him getting dragged out or something. Okay, so I thought that was the reason why, maybe the woman in that first video I showed you probably like made said something to the cops or something like that. However, it looked like apparently no. It looked like they were just kind of waiting for him to get back. And you got to imagine supervised release means exactly that. You're being supervised, right? And like, for example, even probation or even parole, you're being supervised. And apparently after 6ix9ine came back from, he resides now in Florida. He came back to New York. They nabbed him. And essentially, they had him locked up, and he showed up in front of a court today. Now, the judge is the same judge he faced when he actually did the cooperation versus 9Trey, Judge Engelmeyer. And basically, they said, all rise, we're here in a violation. Make it a little bit bigger for y'all. It says, we're here on a violation of a supervised release. Defendant was supposed to appear at 9:30 a.m. and did not. Oh, never mind. So I guess 6ix9ine, all right, this kind of makes sense because 6ix9ine only comes to New York to go to court or not go to court. Like I think it's PO or I don't know how it works federally, but he still has to check in with people or do some shit with people or like the feds because he's being supervised released every month. And I'm guessing he came here, went to the club last night, partied too long, probably overslept or something. And they know where he's at. They went to and locked his ass up at 9, and they locked him up at 10:30. And now he's being arraigned on the violation. So apparently it was a probation violation. It was probably probation violation that they wanted to. Oh, it was a court hearing, so it wasn't just him just checking in. So I guess like they had probably raised an issue saying that, yo, we want you to defend yourself on what we think you violated your actually not probation, parole, and yeah, it looked like he didn't show up to court, and they got his ass. All right. So now Mr. Lazaro is the same lawyer he had. It says, Mr. Lazaro, could you turn your phone off? Is it off? Mr. Smallman, I guess that's the bailiff. Could you swear in the defendant? The judge says to 6ix9ine, is your mind clear? Now, keep in mind, we just saw that last video. I'm telling you, 6ix9ine, there's probably Tweety birds, just spinning around, right? Just spinning around. He says, yes, Your Honor. 6ix9ine says, have you discussed it with Mr. Lazaro? Right? So he said, have you discussed this hearing with Mr. Lazaro? Hold on one second. He said, have you discussed this with Mr. Lazaro? And 6ix9ine says, I live in Florida for the first time I see him. Okay. So you're charged with traveling to Las Vegas without permission, not turning up for drug testing, and using meth. What? What? Yo, chat, y'all know about drugs. What drug is meth? Like, when I hear meth, I think about Breaking Bad. Like, when I hear about meth, no, 6ix9ine ain't taking no meth. It's probably like one of them little pills y'all be popping. Maybe he pops pills, I don't know. What pill has meth in it? Like, I know y'all be taking these new pills and shit. Huh? Somebody said, what's wrong with meth? I don't know. Meth just seems like some hard shit. Like meth, anytime I hear meth and heroin, I'm like, nigga, who the fuck is... The only video is, oh, Molly has meth in it? Somebody says Adderall has meth in it. Okay, who knows? All right, cool. Yeah. So I'm guessing your meth just sounds hard and like old school to me. Like The only videos I've seen, like, especially like heroin. When I hear somebody's on heroin, heroin is some shit I would see people put a belt and tie it around their arm and find a vein. And I'm like, yo, what the if you got to go through that to take some drugs, this is too far, brother. But, hey, maybe I'm pussy. Anyway, so it says, you're charged with going to Las Vegas without permission and not turning up for drug testing and using meth. How do you plead? He says not guilty. The judge says, AUSA, what are the bases of the charges? Rebold says, Officer Bryce in the Southern District of Florida. Okay, so it looked like Officer Bryce in the Southern District of Florida basically referred this back to the judge. So it looked like 6ix9ine didn't check in or missed some or fucked up on some piss tests. I don't know how they test people, drug testing. It says on September 7th, he went to Las Vegas without being given any permission. They want to amend or supersede the details of this weekend. They want to amend and supersede with details of this weekend. Oh, okay. On Saturday, the defendant went to Sarasota. When confronted, Mr. Hernandez denied being there. There was proof. Where the fuck is Sarasota? Sarasota. Oh, it's a city in... Wait. But he could travel in Florida, can't he? Ah. On Saturday, he went to Sarasota. Wait, is this video from Sarasota then? Maybe it is, right? I don't know. Or, I thought it was in New York City. Anyway, all right, let's keep going. 2 times in the last 2 weeks, he's tested positive for meth. We got a letter from the doctor, Rebecca Wang in Florida. Do you have it? Judge says, no, I don't have the letter. AUSA says, I'll show to Mr. Lazaro first, which is 6ix9ine's attorney. Judge says, please do. The judge says, now I've read them. The AUSA says, they're backdated to August and September. Received today. They're designed to provide an explanation why I tested positive for meth. Okay. Including Adderall or Digoshin. Okay. So apparently they're saying that 6ix9ine's doctor, right, has sent a letter basically saying she prescribed Adderall to 6ix9ine, and that's why he would test positive for meth. Okay, so calm down, y'all. I think 6ix9ine's on Adderall, okay? Makes sense. All right, Adderall. It's probably Adderall. I don't know what's Digoshin. What is that? Digoshin. Some medication used to manage and treat heart failure. This don't say nah. Or arrhythmias or abortion. Nah. He wouldn't be on that. He's on Adderall, right? Like, come on. He's on Adderall. Makes sense. By the way, chat, I've taken Adderall back in college. Wasn't even prescribed. One of my homies gave it to me. And when I took the joint, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Yo, if you in college, or you go to school, I'm not trying to advise you to take this junk. But I swear I learned the whole semester in 2 days. I was ultra focused, gang. I was taking super hard math classes, 400 level. I read the whole textbook, my nigga. I was doing all type of math, nigga. I was doing all type of shit. Like, yo, come on, derivatives, huh? Anyway. Okay. So look like maybe, he's clearly popping some pills. Even if it's not Adderall or Adderall's mixed into the pills. These days, pills are like, if you're getting it, not from a doctor, it's probably cut with all type of shit, right? All right, so the judge says, are you saying that they're not from Dr. Wang? So they're saying, are you saying that these medications or whatever he's taking is not from Dr. Wang? And the AUSA says, no, they're not from Dr. Wang. Then the AUSA says there's some skepticism about the dating of the letter. And the defendant was unable to provide prescription bottles. So he didn't have any prescription bottles, but that also kind of makes sense if he's finished with the prescription, right? So you couldn't provide any bottles and whatever, which, by the way, I'm going to be honest with you, Dr. Rebecca Wang, your name getting called in federal court, you probably wrote some fake shit. Nah, they going to be on your ass. Like, yo, come on. Yo, doctors be getting paid like $200,000 and still be writing fake prescriptions. Shout out to the doctors out here, man. You know what I mean? Helping niggas out every day, bro. Okay. By the way, if you go to the young boy situation, we shouldn't even say these entertainers, to be an entertainer, you're dealing with trolls. People want to kill you. Everybody in your family and 300 other people asking you for money. You got to show up in a certain mind state. Like, again, I'm not giving no entertainer no excuse, but these niggas on drugs, bro. Like, if I can't even, there's probably like a handful, like maybe 5 or 10 that's not on some type of drug. And what I mean by drug, it could be a wide range of stuff, right? Like, and I'm considering that as If you ask me, I would say, I guess I'm on drugs because I mean, I drink every day, right? That's, you know what I mean? Is it a coping? Who cares? But what I'm saying is that most of these guys, they do more than weed. They're going to be doing some type of pill. They're doing lean. They're doing perks. They're doing Xanax, Adderall, right? Like, you know, some of these guys, they record at 4 a.m. You know what I mean? They got to leave a spot, go to another spot, record for 4 a.m., keep everything off their mind, be creatively clear. They're not going to a doctor to get prescriptions. I mean, look at even young boy on house arrest. All the madness going on around him dealing with a million other things. He has everything going on in the world, and he's getting frustrated because he can't walk out of the house. And my nigga, like, essentially, what ends up happening, pretty much starts self-prescribing, right? So it kind of happens, right? All right, so here we go. The defendant was unable to provide prescription bottles, so it was through the black market means. And AUSA says, or it was just a way to try to explain the positive meth test. So the AUSA is saying, no, we don't care how he got them those drugs. The letter just means it's a bullshit letter, but it's a way to explain the test. Judge says, I granted him a compassionate release in light of his COVID sensitivity, but he's still under supervision. Wasn't he in the Dominican Republic arrested but not able to leave? That judge know how to Google. Does that count towards the running of his supervised release? AUSA says, let me check. The judge says while in the Dominican Republic, he was unable to violate U.S. law. So how does his time there count towards his supervised release? I don't get that. So it looked like they brought up some points that he was arrested in Dominican Republic. And by the way, if I'm talking fast chat, it's because of Starbucks. I'm on some caffeine. Drugs, right? Yeah, so they're trying to bring up, he caught like a DV charge and he was locked up for some time in the Dominican Republic. And the judge is saying, well, that's not the U.S. Like, what's up? And then the AUSA says, I'm told that as long as he's at liberty, which means as long as he's free, not in jail, even if not in the U.S., it counts towards his supervised release. The judge says, I'm told he paid his financial duty. He completed his 160 hours of community service. He has 160 hours of community service left in the next 6 months. There are other significant issues, though. The judge also says there is a physical altercation in Dominican Republic, domestic violence and battery, speeding ticket in Florida for going 198. Y'all got to hit up 6ix9ine. What car you got going 198? Y'all got 3 cars that go over 205, and I'm scared to death I die. You feel me? Yeah, I wouldn't drive. There's no road in America I would drive over 140. Them cars is just for looks, man. Actually, somebody just referred me to a racetrack. I'm going to bring them to a racetrack. I'm not driving on a U.S. road 100 and over 150. Nigga, I don't give a fuck how good them brakes is. Yeah, let me tell you them shits. Nigga, when I bought the well, actually, for like all them cars, they'd be like, oh, this is like ceramic brakes with this. Like, changing the brakes is like $10,000. Like, I'm not trusting my life with that. Hell nah. Fuck no. If I'm going to be doing 198, I don't need no little kid trying to wheel his bike across the highway, some crackhead walking into traffic, some deer running onto the highway you got to swerve, or somebody, when you go 198, if somebody going 60, what the fuck, nigga? I'm not weaving through this like Need for Speed. Hell out of here. So for me, I'm not driving that fast, but look like 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine can't even drive. I seen that nigga crash like a couple times. Yeah, all right, 198. Cool. 198 in an unregistered vehicle that was apparently resolved. That's crazy. Yo, in Jersey, if you go 100 more than the speed limit, they usually just arrest you. Like, fuck all that shit. Ain't no ticket for this. You going to jail, nigga. You get what I'm saying? But okay. You know, Florida let it hang. Maybe he got a Cybertruck. 198. Cool. That was apparently resolved, so he apparently fixed it somehow. He said he's going to Russia on October. He said he's going to Russia October 19th. October 19th passed already. Maybe they meant November 19th? Anyway. So we have to decide when, and by the way, they probably bring up the Russia thing because we don't have the best extradition, dealings with, why is called her daddy trending? Let me look at this later. We don't have the best extradition relationship with Russia, and they're trying to sneak it in there like, you never know, you might go there and never come back. Like, come on, like, he's not facing murder. Like, come on. All right. So mentioning he's going to Russia, even though this date got to be wrong. It says, so we have to decide when we have an evidentiary hearing, what to do with Mr. Hernandez until then. AUSA says we can move quickly. That's fine. And the judge says, Mr. Lazaro, are we likely looking at a disposition? Lazaro says, I'd like that. There's factors that are weighing in his favor. The judge says, you need to confer with him because he has a liberty interest. And shout out to this judge. And by the way, I still think they're compassionate to 6ix9ine because he told, right? Like, he's basically saying, yo, talk to your client. We get it that he wants to be free because he has things that they've said, oh, he's got to make money and he got to go here and go there. Okay, talk to your client. We're trying to get this done as quickly as possible. So what if we reconvene next Thursday at 9 a.m.? What I envision, Mr. Lazaro, is that if there isn't a disposition, we'll have an evidentiary hearing. The AUSA says, can we do November 8th? And the judge says, I can't, but how about the 12th? Now, the judge says that's tough too, okay? The AUSA said that's tough too. Then the judge says the 12th then. 6ix9ine's lawyer says, no, how about the 7th? Obviously, he wants earlier than later. And then AUSA says, nah, let's do the 12th, which is about like 2 weeks from now. And the judge says, the 12th then. We'll do the 12th. A letter by noon on the 7th, right? Defense by the 8th. And AUSA says, let's orally amend the stipulation. The judge says, no, let's do it in writing. That's better. The judge says, let's address detention or release before November 12th then. The government says, or is it government? And then the Rebold, which is AUSA, says, we believe detention is appropriate. He's not a risk not to return. Oh, okay. Wait, what? Oh, he is a risk. Never mind. Yo, they always be saying that shit. Why was 6ix9ine going to run for a violation? I forgot what his original sentence was. 6ix9ine sentence supervised release. Let's see, what was he was released in 2020 and put on supervised release. He was facing over 30, but I forgot what the exact terms of the release is. We could probably find it afterwards. Let's just keep reading. Okay, cool. So they're saying he's a risk to not return, compounded by the conduct this weekend, knowing he had a VSOR proceeding, leaving and being dishonest. So essentially, I think they're saying that 6ix9ine knew he had a hearing, right? He had a hearing about this whole, parole stuff. And they're saying he left to go to Florida real quick and flew back in this morning or whenever. And the AUSA says there is conduct in the Dominican Republic while ordered to remain there to stand trial. Instead, he left through Haiti, then left Haiti back to the United States, and he boasted about this on his own podcast. No, he didn't. Nigga, what? We can look that up after. AUSA says that doesn't bode well for him returning here. The judge says, on that theory, action speak louder than words. AUSA says he's also posing a danger to himself with controlled substances. We ask that he be detained. The judge says, Mr. Lazaro, which is 6ix9ine's lawyer, he says, continue him on release, Your Honor. He went to Las Vegas to perform before 20,000 people. He's trying to survive, Your Honor. The judge says survive. Then his lawyer says financially, I mean. Okay. He thought he texted the probation officer. The judge says he was supposed to get permission 2 weeks in advance. The lawyer then says, well, he has to pay for his own security. He never accepted the government offer of security. Dr. Wong, the probation required him to attend in 2023. He did not backdate them. They are legit. So he's talking about, I guess, these prescriptions. He was prescribed Adderall for a medical condition. The judge says it seems like a fruitful issue to litigate. So he's saying, hey, listen, we're not here to argue, but it seems like something that y'all could argue about later. And 6ix9ine's lawyer then says, yo, he flew from Florida to Newark last night and stayed in a hotel there. So he was an hour late. Damn, that nigga was one. As soon as 9:30 came and that nigga was not in that courtroom, the judge signed the order for his arrest. Feds don't play, bruh. That's why they wanted to detain him. So he was an hour late. That's what they wanted. He understands the court gave him a break, let him out. The judge says he got a break, and deservedly so, as a cooperator. But there's a pattern, including the conduct in the DR. It reflects a full spectrum of disregard for the law. 6ix9ine's lawyer says it is not intentional. Then he continues by saying the Dominican Republic is totally corrupt. He was being extorted by the judge. The judge says he's being sued by a former girlfriend in Florida. Everything can't be everyone's fault. Then Zaro says he's different than you or I, Your Honor. He's an entertainer. I do agree with that. Which means, like, you normally don't see people being sued by their exes or whatever, but when you're a person with money and wealth, people want your money, right? Have you seen two people who broke up that were broke as fuck? The girlfriend says, I didn't file any charges to put you in jail, but I'm gonna now go sue you. Yeah, so we do got to think about that. Anyway, not defend them, just being honest, right? And the judge says he has a duty to turn square corners and not musically riff. Okay, the judge got bars. He has a duty to turn square corners. So basically he's saying he needs to fucking be a fucking square. 6ix9ine's lawyer says he would return on the 12th, Your Honor. The MDC is not a good place to be. Ooh, don't put my boy in the MDC. Yo, MDC is going to be looking crazy now. Yo, chat, I ain't going to lie. Right now, it's like a celebrity death match up in prison, bro. It got 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine got to catch the first fade with Diddy. I got 6ix9ine on that. I got 100 bands for anybody who want to bet me. 6ix9ine's washing Diddy. You feel what I'm saying? And then we got, this is state. We got, Dirk in there too. Ooh. Oh, well, Dirk's not MDC. But, yeah, Dirk's on his way to Cali. But still, he's in federal jail. Yeah, the 6ix9ine and Dirk showdown. Remember 6ix9ine said he was down for a fight? Federal lockup might be the only way. And then, of course, we got on the state level, we got Pooh Shiesty, we got Young Thug, and we got a couple other people. Damn, all right, man. Okay. He says, the MDC is just not a good place to be. The judge says his actions are checking him in. Oh, my God. I don't have confidence he'll show up. The judge then says, I'm going to detain him until the hearing in 2 weeks from now. 6ix9ine's lawyer says, my client would like to address you. I don't have a problem with that. And he says, Mr. Hernandez, anything you could say to me could be held against you. Do you understand? Trust me, 6ix9ine understands. They told him that before, and he told them the niggas, man. And by the way, I'm not playing my boy, because I stand by his decision at all. Okay. Oh, here we go. Say yes. First, I want to apologize for arriving late this morning. I don't live in New York. I live in Florida. I woke up late. I was released on October 2nd, 2020. I've been on probation since. And the judge says, move away from the microphone. I think you understand that. Oh, my God. He said, I think you'd understand that. Oh, my God. Yo, this judge got jokes. He's like, yo, remember when you understand, nigga, telling. Move away from the mic. Back up a little bit. Come on, okay? I think you would understand that. You spoke a lot up in this court before. Okay, God damn. Yo, this is how the feds and the judge treat you after you tell? Yo, this is crazy. Yo, show my boy some respect, man. God damn it. 6ix9ine says, I know my counsel told me not to speak, but the truth stays the same. I sat with AUSA Rebo many times. You're my judge. I know you're strict. I know how strict you are. My goal is to not be in front of you ever. You're a smart person. I can't lie to you. I'm not a bad person. I apologize. I'm coming down on my last 6 months of probation. In the last 6 months, why would I mess up now? My case was transferred to Florida a couple months ago. Their system is different. More strict. The thing about September 7th, and the judge says, I advise you not to talk about that. Why? Because that's going to be a part of an evidentiary hearing. So September 7th is one of the days they claim he violated. Oh, well, I guess he says, I tested positive for marijuana. He says, you were told to get permission 2 weeks in advance. And I guess that's not for the marijuana thing. Oh, never mind. Oh, the system is different. So I advise you not to talk about it. I performed at the T-Mobile Arena. I thought I had permission. I posted it. I didn't get a text back. I'm human. I have that system. I tested positive for marijuana. The judge says, you were told to get permission 2 weeks in advance. He says, my problem with the Southern District of New York, Manhattan, was, my system with Southern District of New York, Manhattan was different. I'm owning up to it. I perform in front of 20,000 people, so I know I'm technically wrong. Yeah, this is a ballsy move. 6ix9ine is speaking to the judge and basically on the record admitting to everything that they're supposed to argue about 2 weeks from now. But he's doing it to come off sincere, hoping that the judge doesn't lock him up. This is a ballsy move, chat. It says, my life for the last 4 years has been bad. Ooh, nice sob story. Yo, let me tell you this, man. 6ix9ine could talk a tear out your eye. My boy. That's what I'm talking about. Corners. Get it. My life for the last 4 years has been bad, bro. Can't call the judge bro, okay? Can't call him bro. I've been jumped at the gym for cooperating. I have this for life. I'm human, bro. The judge says, anything further? Yes. Freedom is everything to me. 6ix9ine says, Adderall has meth in it. It's just a mistake. The judge says, you didn't show up for your drug testing. I'm not requiring you to answer that. August 27th, I was tested positive. So every Wednesday a drug test, you take a piss test. I said, that's a lie. When my hair test came back okay, I thought it was a win. No more testing. Judge saying, is your testimony? By the way, this would be a testimony that 6ix9ine would have later because they go through a mini trial for this whole, probation thing. 6ix9ine is giving it all up right now. Ballsy move, but you can't be that mad. Okay, hold on. All right, so he says, it says, well, my hair test, it says your testimony is that you had the right. He says, yes, I thought I had the right. It was just a misunderstanding, I thought. And the judge says, I'll be interested in that in November 12th. Basically saying that, yo, 6, you just did that for no reason. And also now your statements is on the record. Because, if his statement's not on the record, his lawyer could play it 2 ways. Hey, the test was bad. Or, hey, they mixed up the results. Hey, let's look at the packaging of how they delivered it. Hey, so him saying this on the record shows intentionally, maybe not intentionally testing positive, but knowing about these results, continuing forward, and still doing other things that was seemingly going against the probation violation. Here we go. Judge says, I'll be interested in hearing more about it on November 12th. I cannot resolve it now. Another court directed you not to leave the country. You left. You can call that court corrupt and that country corrupt, but you left. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Holy. And the judge says adjourned. There's a bit more. The judge says, I trust that the prosecutors will take into account issues raised by his cooperations. And AUSA says we will. The judge says the court stands ready to assist. Now we're adjourned. So he's going to be put into the GEO cooperators jail. And not into, what the fuck is GEO cooperators jail? Oh, that's a special prison, huh? You can't even find this shit. You can't even find this goddamn jail, bro. GEO. Going to GEO. What the fuck is GEO? Anyway, all right. Fuck. It took my boy into custody. That's not cool. Oh my God. All right. So he's here, so he's going to be locked up for 2 weeks. Damn. It just shows you, even if you cooperated and now you're on supervised release, man, you got to take this pretty serious. It kind of goes back into what we were saying about the Young Thug situation. Taking 15 years of probation is going to be tough for anybody, especially when you're an artist moving around. There's a million phones around you. There's a million, a lot of these guys, especially when you're not famous, like, for example, 6ix9ine going to wherever, maybe wouldn't be known that, he went out of the country, right? Hold on. man, Duty Low hit me. Oh, yeah, all right, cool. All right, yeah, Duty Low just hit me. All right, cool. Yeah, so you can't hide when you're 6ix9ine. People are gonna notice you moving around. Shit, I seen someone even tweeted. They said, "Yo, I was on the same JetBlue flight with the nigga last night." So it looked like somebody was basically claimed that they flew in from Florida with him on the plane. They know whatever. So kind of sad and unfortunate. They're gonna put the order in for him to be detained. I do believe he's gonna get out on the 12th, right? But that sucks. Like, what I mean? I'm pretty sure he has a bunch of other stuff doing, appearances. Again, no matter how much money you have as an entertainer, you get to realize that legal bills pile up, other just expenses. I definitely don't want to say when you're in the position of, say, like a Dirk or a 6ix9ine, like they become slaves, but they do become slaves to the lifestyle in a sense, right? Where like you think of these guys as just super rich, but essentially they got to keep working, right? Once they now live a lifestyle, and once they're now wherever they're at, they got to keep working. For 6ix9ine, for the next 2 weeks, he's probably missing out on whatever. And then for Dirk, he's missing out on a shit ton of things. Album was supposed to come out. Don't know if the album's still going to come out. It's supposed to come out 11/22. Don't know if it's going to come out. He has other obligations. All that shit is just killed for right now. And I know that happens to people who aren't as popular as well. But for their operation to go to continue, that matters. Now, think about like someone like even Young Thug. Shit, we're gonna talk about Tory Lanez. I think it's on my list. Tory Lanez a little bit later. Tory Lanez had this one lawyer. He claimed he paid like $400,000 to. I don't even think she was representing for like a whole year, right? So if you think about how much money these guys are just dumping into legal costs and all these other things, somehow they got to make the money back and keep up a lifestyle and support 300 people that depend on them. And yeah, it's a lot. So hopefully, I do think he'll be let out. I think this was to teach him a lesson, honestly. Yeah, I think he'll be let out, but that hearing is going to be very important, right? I don't think they're going to violate him, honestly, whether it goes left, right, or center. I think they saw a pattern of 6ix9ine it was about 6 months left on his probation, and he was starting to thinking he's already home free. And I think they probably gave him a longer leash, pause, because he did cooperate. And they probably just realized, like, yo, this dude think he's the shit. Okay, let's give you 2 weeks. Let's give you 2 more weeks of lockup. And I think really that's how the government and really how just like even the state deals with a lot of people, especially people of entertainers. They realize the only thing you respect, because every time you show up to court, all these guys, you remember Meek Mill notoriously when his like probation cases, even though that judge happened to be someone who they claim was corrupt. But they realize that all these guys come to court, even though when they're free, fuck the judge, they're rapping about doing this. They're like, yo, we on the block right now with choppers, like they're acting like complete hooligans, right? And I'm talking about in a crime sense. But when they get to court, they denounce being a gangster. They say I'm a good boy, whatever. And I think that the court realizes the only thing that make y'all learn, look how Krishan Rock came out after jail. We ain't never seen Krishan Rock this clean cut ever. It only took 3 months of jail for her. So I think they're looking at it for 6ix9ine. He's been starting to wild out a little bit more. He probably thinking, yo, nigga, yeah, I caught a charge, but it's in the DR. It's not in the U.S. All right, sit down for 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, I think there are going to be some mitigating factors here. They're going to realize that he has 6 months left on probation. And I think they're going to give him a break. But I think this is probably the punitive thing. Go sit down for 2 weeks, my nigga, because you're wilding. Like you thinking we don't have control over you. So go sit down for 2 weeks, and then I think they're going to let him out afterwards. But they're going to still go through the hearing thing. And probably, if you ask me, this is me just anticipating, they're going to tighten up on his restrictions, right? So they're going to put it where he is heavily restricted even more. And we'll see how he deals with that for the last 6 months. So that's the 6ix9ine situation. But he is currently getting locked up. He won't be in MDC from everything I know. MDC Brooklyn is
Inner City Press here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, Tuesday, October 29th, 2024, we just live tweeted the detention hearing of Daniel Hernandez, aka Tekashi 6ix9ine, rapper, cooperator, previously gang member. He's been on supervised release. He's
Nah, my boy's still gang. Stop playing. Stop playing with him. He's still gang member, bro. If Woody's still gang member, 6ix9ine's still gang member. Stop playing.
9, rapper, cooperator, previously gang member. He's been on supervised release. He's actually been down in Florida, but he, according to the judge and to probation, he's been violating his supervised release. Not only did he go to Las Vegas without permission, where he said, hey, he spoke for himself. He said, hey, I performed before 20,000 people. I texted them before I left. But seemingly dispositively, he was in the Dominican Republic in detention and then freed but not allowed to leave the country for some kind of a violent incident, according to them. He says he was extorted by the judge. That's what his lawyer, Lance Lazaro, said as well. Judge Engelmeyer, after a lengthy proceeding in which Tekashi 6ix9ine spoke for himself and said, yay, bro, I'm doing my best. My life is ruined. I got beat up in the gym as a cooperator. After that, Judge Engelmeyer has ordered him detained. They mentioned the MDC, but they might try to put him in a private prison for cooperators like he was last time, Geo in Queens. And the next hearing is on November 12th, in which he'll either plead guilty to the specifications and be sentenced, and maybe the judge he said he'll take into account all this mitigation and sentencing, or he'll dispute them and there'll be an evidentiary hearing on how he left the Dominican Republic, why he tested positive for meth. He said that's Adderall. There's a lot of things going on. You can find the thread, but for now, Inner City Press. We'll cover that alongside Diddy, Eric Adams, and of course, the election. To be continued, Inner City Press.
Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. Interesting. Yeah, I could see there be that conversation of, and I think the judge said it, hey, you remember you cooperated, right? I don't think they're going to put him in MDC. I think they're going to put him in that private prison because, again, I'm pretty sure 9 Trey, who couldn't probably get a hold of him in the free world, him just living some random place in Florida, if he's now in MDC, and all of them, by the way, keep in mind, all of them 9 Trey niggas, they all went through MDC. They have cousins, friends, relatives that are probably in MDC. This would be the best time for them to ever do something to 6ix9ine, right? Because they have him confined to one place, no security, no nothing. I'm pretty sure the AUSA and the jail staff, they would be like, it's just not safe for him. So, yeah. Unless they're going to do some Diddy stuff, right? Which is like, yo, let's put him on 23-1 special wings, supervised, just being supervised throughout the whole day. But even then, like, why take that chance? It will make the government look like shit, right? Like, the government has a huge incentive. I mean, same with Diddy. They have a huge incentive to make sure nothing happens to Diddy. But I would say even more than Diddy, they have a huge incentive making sure nothing happens to 6ix9ine. Because if you're hearing that the government uses you to snitch, then locks you up, and then you get stabbed up, it's like, why the fuck did you snitch? You know what I mean? They want to encourage that, hey, listen, we could make sure we could protect you. And again, obviously 6ix9ine getting jumped. 6ix9ine turned down federal protection afterwards, right? So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'll let you know if I speak to him. I'm pretty sure I will. But got arrested. Tough, but it is what it is. Okay. Couple other things. Let me see what else we're going to get into today.
Hardcore, shorty scam me like a barcode, heartbreaking, I go viral, they don't know me, so the same niggas smoking out the OZ. Ice cold type lick, and I might smoke. Hydro, contemplating what